Hi Eagles! So part of our architecture week is going to be working with drawing buildings. And a really easy way to do that is to do a simple, very simple 1-point perspective, or working with depth or perspective. So you're going to need a ruler, and if you don't have a ruler, just another piece of paper with a straight edge, a piece of paper and a pencil, eraser if you think you need it. All right guys, let's check it out. So with any 1-point perspective project, we want to start by drawing the horizon line. And that does not have to be in the center of your paper, but it does need to be horizontal. You also want to find the vanishing point. So where do I want everything to recede to or go back to in space? That's where we're going to put our vanishing point today. Now, for this project, I'm going to draw Kansas City, or at least, a city like Kansas City. And I'm going to start by drawing it on a bridge. So I'm going to start by doing diagonal lines using my ruler, going towards that vanishing point. So this is going to be the street for my bridge. And I'm also going to draw lines going out that are going to be the bridge itself, the bridge lines. Okay, now if this is a bridge, the first thing I would do is start by drawing the road, and by putting, I usually like to put just a little bit of a sidewalk space, or like, the area next to the bridge that it goes over. Oops, and if you mess up, remember, erasers are great. And then I'm going to do another line underneath the top ones, which is going to be like the metal beam for the top of my bridge here. Now, at this point, all I have to do is put vertical lines in between to show where my bridge is at. So I'm actually going to erase my horizon line where it goes between my bridge line here. And remember, vertical is up and down. These are going to be the connecting lines for my bridge. And if you want it to be realistic, I would suggest making them get closer together. The closer they get to your vanishing points. So that as I get to the center, or close to the center, they really should be almost touching. And I'm going to do the same thing from this side. And as you notice, I drew it so where it almost looks like I'm on the street going from this side. So my bridge is actually going further out. So I don't look like I'm driving necessarily. I look like maybe I'm walking on the street, or I'm walking on the sidewalk space nearby. Okay, or the bridge curves. Also probably want to do some little rectangles that kind of go out from my vanishing point here. And if you notice, I said it was 1-point leg, so I am speeding it up just a little bit by kind of moving those around. So I could put cars and stuff on here. If you want, you can put that horizon line still kind of there to show where like water is that it's going over. And then you can draw whatever cities you want behind your bridge and whatever buildings. So for instance, and I would use my ruler for this, I'm going to try to just kind of sketch it out though. Buildings, we're going to kind of veer off of doing them in true perspective, and instead I'm going to just create buildings that look 3D by starting with those rectangle shapes, taking 2 diagonal lines back, and then just connecting those lines. So I end up with buildings that look like they recede in space, but that aren't necessarily following 3-point perspective. And you could also add some buildings that are kind of landmarks or trademarks for Kansas City. So I'm trying to think what it looks like off the top of my head, but maybe that the Kaufman Performing Arts building. You know, it is definitely not a square shape. It's more of a circular shape. You could put some columns for like Union Station back here, or like the Nelson. I think the Nelson's kind of columned a little bit. So it looks like it goes back in space. Okay, really whatever you want to do. Kind of jazz up your building and your cities, and then add some details, and you've got yourself a city that looks like it recedes into space with a bridge. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.